Hey, what's up everybody? Sean and Lana here. And we just had some things on our mind we wanted to just share with you.
And hopefully, I don't be a little girl and get too emotional.
Bank on that.
We've had some emotional moments just in the last 24 hours, actually. I woke up this morning kind of in a funk, and I don't know, I guess a lot of things have just been going through my head, and I had thought a little while back, I kind of asked myself the question, why would anybody ever be afraid of success? That seems like a really stupid thing to be afraid of. Like, who doesn't want to succeed in life? And it wasn't until like some things have, I don't know, I made some call, or I kind of got into some things that I wanted to get into, and then I got all these calls back about it, and all of a sudden I realized this is happening.
It's like when
I got really scared.
It's like when you start seeing the ball rolling and you start realizing, wow, it's a lot closer than I thought it was, and now I'm at the point I really do have to take serious action. Kind of, you transition from daydreaming about your goals to achieving those goals, and it can be kind of scary because sometimes it happens all at once. And
well, it's kind of like he says on Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. You realize that all at once. Crap. I have to do a lot. Like, I have to, yeah, and it's
well, you start to question yourself at times, and you wonder, man, what have I gotten myself into? Am I in over my head? And it can be kind of scary.
And this is really, I think, been more my thing than his. I think he has been pretty confident in this whole thing, and I really have been too, but I don't know if I must have had a dream or something, but I just woke up this morning like really fearful and unsure, feeling unsure. And we want to talk about it because I think it's something that at least at some point every person who dives in head first and just goes for their goal is going to deal with at some point. And it's kind of the ugly part of it that we don't really talk about a whole lot. We're just like trying to be positive and go for it. But it's the reality.
When things start to really happen, you have to ultimately go back and figure out your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? And it really causes you to do a lot of deep soul searching, and especially in the moments when you're fearful and doubtful, and you've got people criticizing you and doubting you, and
well, for me, it's myself. I'm doubting myself, and this wonderful man here, went into work an hour late this morning to comfort and console me. But
more like straighten you up.
yeah, snap out of it. What do you think we're doing here? But for me,
I had to remind her. Sorry to interrupt you. I had to remind her, hey, why are we doing what we're doing? There's a reason behind this that's a lot greater than what you're thinking in this moment of fear, in this moment of panic. Snap out of it, and get back to the big goal.
Let's be real, and I'm sure some of you who are watching this can totally relate to this, and it might actually piss some of you off because you don't want to admit it about yourself, but this is the truth of it. We are honestly middle to lower income people, okay? We, when we first got married, we weren't doing too well financially at all, and we know what that's like to live paycheck to paycheck, and but there is the ability to be happy no matter where you're at, and we have been able to do that. We know how to be happy anywhere. I could be happy living under a bridge with this man just because I'm with him.
I think
I love him.
If you haven't yet figured out how to be happy in any situation in your life, then I think that is really the first landing point you've got to find yourself on before you expect to go and achieve all this financial success.
Gratitude.
You've got to learn how to be happy with yourself and how to love yourself, and not in a conceited way or a selfish way, but in a way that is really necessary before you can really achieve anything else beyond that.
You have to learn to be thankful with what you have right here, right now, in the moment, because what makes you think you're going to be thankful for anything else if you're not thankful for what you already have? So we have been able to do that, where we can absolutely not grow anymore and still be happy with each other, still be able to feel that emotion of happiness. But we can't deny the fact that there's things we want to do with our life. I mean, and you can't deny that there's things you want to do with your life, but I think so many people have accepted that, you know, or they seem to think that they are not part of the 97%, because it's the ratio. It's the 97% is really the majority of the people who don't do anything. I don't want to say don't do anything great, because I think everybody has great things in their life, but who doesn't really try to live to their fullest potential. That's 3% of people are like the Bill Gateses and the Steve Jobs. You know,
I'm not necessarily equating that with financial greatnall
just
and success,
people who pursue their goals, people who have these big goals,
right.
and they really believe they can reach for them. It's that 3%
well,
that the 97% think is crazy.
It's pretty amazing. I think even in 2013, I think there are a lot of similarities with the way mankind used to think. I mean, obviously I wasn't around 1,000, 2,000 years ago, but learning from our history books and whatnot, how people back then, they grew up and there was, you know, there was a class system, and if you were a lower class, you were pretty much brought up and you knew that was your destiny. You were going to be middle class, or you were going to be low class in whatever country or society it was back then. The point is, I think a lot of people, even in modern society today, still, you know, maybe their great-grandfather, their grandfather, and their dad all say they were some low-class or low-middle-class trade or career, and a lot of people just accept that, and they never even venture further than that in their own minds, that they can go any further than that. They just accept, I'm just going to be this for the rest of my life.
And you have to realize that it's a deep-rooted belief. It's because of what you see. It's because of what you live. And I've said this on previous videos, but you can tell your child anything. You can tell your child, baby, you can be whatever you want to be. And that sounds all nice and fuzzy and good, right? But if your child does not see that you are living to your fullest potential, that you are reaching to great heights to achieve certain goals, they are not truly going to believe that they can do it, or that that's even realistic or even an option. They're really not. They're going to think, oh, okay, thanks, great, Mom, I can be whatever I want to be. But they're going to grow up with the same mindset that they are going to have the same type of outcome that they have grown up seeing their parents have. And so it's a very hard cycle to break, but...
Even when you're taught as a kid, you know, everyone's heard the cliche, you can be whatever you want to be when you grow up. But do we really believe that?
No.
Do you really be honest with yourself? Do you really believe you can be whatever you want to be when you're
Yeah, most don't,
when you're an adult or whatever?
Because what do most people do? They go to college and they shoot for the realistic thing. They shoot for a realistic goal. And a lot of people go into trades because it's, and this, I mean, I still feel like in a lot of ways it was a good decision for our family at the time. But at the time, we talked about Sean going into a trade, and the reason he went into that trade was not because it was what he wanted to do. It was because, well, we have to put food on the table for our family, and we got to do the realistic thing. And now,
give up your dream and get a real job.
And he has gone to the very top in his trade, and there's nowhere else to go now. And I'm very proud of him, and he's proud of himself for achieving that at such an early age. But now it's like, where do we go now? Like, he doesn't want to do this for the rest of his life. So on to bigger and better things. But most people don't do that. They stick it out in that trade until retirement, and usually, and of course, the way our economy and country's going now, it's like there's no
security, not like there used to be, if there ever was. You know.
So the point we're making here is that for me, when I was having this, this scary moment that in my head that I was really freaking out inside, I stopped for a moment because he was walking out the door, and I was very upset by that. I was very emotional, and he is my strength. Like he helps hold me together, and nobody can do that for me. Like,
well, that's just it. If it's first thing in the morning and your wife is having a freaking nervous breakdown, you shouldn't have to grab your damn lunch kit, put on your boots, and walk out the freaking door and be gone for the next 11 and a half hours.
Right. And
you know, you should be able to just be there. And, you know, my work can kiss my ass for all. I'll go in an hour late if that's what I need to do. But
yeah. Well, and for me, I thought this is why, because he's walking out the door. And I want to say this because I actually know a lot of stay-at-home moms. It's great being a stay-at-home mom. A lot of people think there's no work involved. It's a lot of work before your kids start school. Okay, it's a lot of work. Like will kind of drive you batty. But you do it because you love your kids and you want to be the one to raise your kids and you don't want them to go to daycare. And there's a lot of reasons why people are stay-at-home moms. We set ourselves up from the very beginning so that I could stay home with our kids, and it was great. My kids are in school now, and literally I have 7 hours a day that, aside from doing some chores here and there, I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. I can go shopping if I want. I can go sit down at a bookstore and have some coffee and just read all day if I want. I can watch movies. I can paint all day if I want. I can, you know, I can choose to make money, you know, doing art. I can choose to not make money if I don't want it, whatever. But when he was walking out that door this morning, I thought, that's why I'm doing this. This is scary, but this is why I'm working my ass off, because he's leaving. It's not for me, honestly. It's not. It's because he's working his butt off 10 hours a day at something that he's not passionate about, something that he doesn't want to do. So, and I don't.
Quite frankly, a waste of my time.
Yes, and I don't want him to walk out the door when I need him. And so I'm doing it for our whole family, for all of us. And, you know, and
we're doing it.
We are doing it, yes, because he does work, you know, at his full-time job. In his free time, he actually does work on our business, our home-based business. So, you know, and we have just really been working super hard because it's just something that we just really, really want. And I feel like when people get to this point, this is the critical point. This is the point that people get to when they go, is it worth it? What am I doing? I'm working my butt into the ground and it's not happening now. And see, unfortunately, because we have built up a nation of people who want instant gratification, not very many people, the 97%ers, not very many people stick with anything that is even the slightest bit difficult, that has the slightest bit of risk involved. They don't want to go through that, and so they settle. And don't lie to yourself about settling. Are you really settling? Are you really settling? Because I see it every day on Facebook. I see it every single day on Facebook. It's the same people, and it's the majority that complain about their jobs, that complain about their bosses, that bitch and moan about having to sit in traffic in the rain to get there. It's the same people that complain about
missing
their kids, don't want to drop them off at daycare, or don't want to leave them for the day, or, man, you know, my kid is sick and I have to leave work for this and my boss is pissed. It's all the same problems. So don't lie to yourself and say, no, I'm perfectly content, or what. Yes, we can definitely learn to be happy right where we're at. We already talked about that. But every person wants more and desires more than that.
It's not that, you know, you can make your own decisions.
Absolutely.
If you want to say you're completely content with where you are, that's not for us to decide.
If you truly don't want anything else,
but we're here to challenge you. That's what this is all about. We're here to challenge you.
And only challenge you because, like I said, it's people complaining. Do not complain about something if you are not willing to get off your rear end and do what it takes to change the situation. And you do not have to be a feather that is blown around by the wind. You don't have to be. You can actually pick a target and be the arrow that decides you're going to hit that target, and you block everything else and you just work your ass off until you hit that target. You can choose to do that. If you really want to do that, you can, and it really is just a simple choice. To say once and for all, that's what I'm going to do. Because once you make the choice, it doesn't matter how many obstacles there are, it doesn't matter how many temporary setbacks there are, it doesn't matter how many risks there are, or and it doesn't matter how long it takes you. It could take 6 months, it could take 20 years. When you set your eye on what you want and you've made the decision that you're going to get it, eventually you get it. eventually you get it.
Amen.
So it's just a matter of making the choice. So you have to decide for yourself. Are you happy exactly where you're at? Are you willing to be happy and settle for where you're at? And if you are, more power to you. That's the choice you've made. And if it's the choice you've made, you have no right to complain about one thing that's going on with your life. Not one thing. It's like the people who don't vote and complain. You don't have a right, right? That might piss some people off. Sorry. It's the truth. It's the truth. So, you know, anyways, got something to add to it?
No, you summed it up.
I pretty much summed it up.
Thanks for catching the video today. Have a great night, have a great week, and we'll catch you guys later.